So this is the proposition. Hope you can recall what was the augmented matrix. If a system Ax equal to B is given to you, okay, A is the coefficient matrix here, B is the given column vector, and X is the column of unknowns. Suppose say A is a matrix of order m by n, and the column has n entries, X has n entries, and B is of order m by 1. It has to be, because here on the left side you have multiplied a matrix of order m by n with that of n by 1. So the product has to be of order m by 1. If you're solving this system Ax equal to B, means to say that you're finding out the unknown column X which satisfies the system Ax equal to B. Whenever we have to solve this system, what we first create is the augmented matrix. What is the augmented matrix? It's a matrix having two blocks. Okay. What are the two blocks? One block is the coefficient matrix A, and the second block is that one single column. This matrix will have m rows. You see there A and B both have m rows, and it will have how many columns? N columns of A plus 1 column of B, so it will have n plus 1 columns. This matrix is called as an augmented matrix. And if you consider this as M, augmented matrix as M, you apply those three types of elementary row operations on M and reduce it to the row echelon form. Okay, reduce it to row echelon form. Those two blocks will still be blocks, but the entries would have changed. The new blocks, we are going to call them as A dash and B dash are the new blocks. Order of A dash is m by n as before. It's same as that of A, and order of B dash is m by 1. Okay, orders will not change when you apply row operations. So the matrix M is reduced to m dash, which is in the row echelon form. Its blocks are A dash and B dash. Then we have proved a result which said that solving Ax equal to B is equivalent to solving A dash x equal to B dash. Solving Ax equal to B is equivalent to solving A dash x equal to B dash. And solving this system is comparatively easy. Why? Because M dash is in the row reduced or row echelon form. Most of the entries you would have eliminated when you come here. Most of them are zeros. So solving A dash x equal to B dash, where A dash is this block and B dash is the second block, solving this is much easier compared to solving Ax equal to B. And there was a result which said that if there is a solution of A dash x equal to B dash, it's also a solution of Ax equal to B, and any solution of Ax equal to B is also a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. Just recall all these notations. So your aim is to solve Ax equal to B, create this augmented matrix AB with two blocks AB, call it as M, reduce it to M dash, where M dash has the two new blocks A dash, B dash. And solving A dash x equal to B dash, you will get all the solutions of Ax equal to B. So in this proposition, what M dash is mentioned here, it is the same M dash which I explained just now. Ax equal to B, you are supposed to solve form AB when the matrix M, which is AB, is reduced to the row echelon form. That is called as M dash now. So this is M dash. This proposition tells you when a system will have a solution and when it will not have a solution. Okay. So when M dash is this augmented matrix of order M by n plus 1, this is a row echelon matrix now, because it is obtained after applying elementary row operations. The system A dash x equal to B dash, okay, A dash x equal to B dash has a solution if and only if B dash has no pivot. Recall what a pivot is. In the row echelon form, if a row has only zeros, that's fine. But if a row has a non-zero entry, if any row of a matrix contains a non-zero entry, the first non-zero entry should always be 1. Okay, if it is not 1, you multiply by the suitable number and make it 1. So in each row, if a row is non-zero, the first non-zero entry is 1, which is called as a pivot. So the proposition says that the system A dash x equal to B dash has a solution. It doesn't tell you how many, but it will have a solution, at least one, if and only if B dash, that is the second column or the second block which is there in M dash has no pivot in it. It should not have a pivot. What do you mean by column having a pivot? If there is some ith row of this matrix M dash, if there is a ith row of the matrix M dash, which has all zeros in A dash, and its first non-zero entry is present inside the second block, that should not happen. When that happens, there is no solution. And if there is a solution, that will never happen. That's what the result says. This proposition justifies the existence of a solution. And the further explanation is that if B dash has no pivot, so if you look at this converse here, B dash has no pivot, then A dash is equal to B dash will have a solution. So if B dash has no pivot, then how do you get the solutions? To get the solution, you look for the columns which do not contain a pivot. If all of them have a pivot, that is very good. But if there is any column which is not containing a pivot in it, if say in the jth column there is no pivot, then for the corresponding unknown xj, you give an arbitrary value and then solve for the variables corresponding to the pivotal columns. Non-pivotal is a column which has no pivot. That's how you obtain a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. We'll try giving the proof of this result now. First, we have to justify the system A dash x equal to B dash has a solution if and only if B dash has no solution. Okay. So M dash is as given. I'll not write all that. Let M dash be equal to A dash B dash. I'll just mention that. Remember, order is M by N plus 1. Okay, M by N plus 1. We will look at the direct implication. What is the direct implication? I have to assume that A dash x equal to B dash has a solution and prove that B dash has no pivot. Okay. Assume that. This is the direct implication now. Assume that A dash x equal to B dash has a solution. Let me take that solution as, say, some column y consisting of, what is the order of x? Order of x is n by 1. So there should be n entries. Let this be a solution. What do we mean by this is a solution? When do we say that y is a solution? When I substitute this column here in the place of x, A dash into that column, alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is equal to B dash. Only then I call y as a solution. So let this be a solution. Okay. What is that up to conclude now? Can somebody tell me what is that we have to prove? I'm assuming A dash x equal to B dash as a solution. What does that have to prove?
B dash has no pivot.
Yes, B dash has no pivot. That is what we have to justify. We'll assume the contrary. Suppose B dash has a pivot. We will see what happens. Okay. Suppose B dash has a pivot. It's a column having exactly m entries in it because it is of order m by 1. It has exactly m entries. We are saying that it contains a pivot. So the pivot has to be present. It's a pivot of some row of m dash. Okay. Pivots are present in rows, not in columns. Pivots are present in rows. So some row of the matrix, I'll go back to the previous slide. Okay. Some row of this matrix M dash has a pivot of some row, which is present inside B dash. That's the understanding. Has a pivot, say in some kth place, in kth position. Where k is some number between 1 and m because B dash has exactly m entries. Remember, B dash has m entries. There is some position where there is a pivot. We'll roughly draw how A dash, B dash looks like. Then M dash equal to A dash, B dash looks like. This is only for your reference. we know that M dash is in the row echelon form, right? We know that M dash is in the row echelon form. It is given M dash is a row echelon matrix. So it will satisfy the definition. Okay, if there is a zero row, all rows below that are zeros. If there is a non-zero row, first non-zero entry is always 1 in that particular row, and all the entries below the pivot are zeros, all the entries above the pivot are zeros, and all that. So everything is satisfied. We are interested only in that kth row now, because B dash is having a pivot in the kth position. Let this be the kth row of the matrix M dash. Okay, this is M dash. I'm looking at the kth row now. What are we seeing? In the kth position, B dash is having a pivot. If this is a pivot of that kth row, okay, this is B dash, remember, the last column is B dash, this is A dash. What do we mean by this is a pivot? In that row, this is the first non-zero entry, right? A pivot refers to the first non-zero entry of the given row. So all the previous entries which are present in A dash in that particular row must be zeros, correct? In that row, since 1 is the pivot which is present inside the last column, that is B dash, all the previous entries are zeros. So just consider this kth row for time being. We are not interested in other rows, but remember they all satisfy the definition of a row echelon matrix. Now we know that vector y is a solution, right? For A dash x equal to B dash. We have A dash into alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n, that's equal to B dash. You know how to equate two matrices. The respective entries must be the same. Now, can I get the kth equation here? How do you multiply the two matrices on the LHS? The first row of A dash should be multiplied with the column alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n. That gives me the first entry of B dash. If I multiply the second row of A dash with the same column, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, I would get the second entry of B dash. I want the equation for the kth entry. The kth equation is, what is it? Look at the kth row of A dash and also the kth entry in B dash. So here, what are present in the kth row of A dash? Only zeros, right? Only zeros. Concentrate only on A dash, only on the first block. So when I consider that kth row of A dash and multiply with this column, I would get 0 into alpha 1 plus 0 into alpha 2, etc. plus 0 into alpha n is equal to what? Is equal to the kth entry of B dash. What is the kth entry of B dash here? It is 1. Kth entry of B dash is 1. Remember, I am multiplying the kth row of A dash with the column alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. Hope you are able to follow this. Okay. So kth row contains only zeros in A dash. Let me use the pointer. Okay. This becomes the kth row. Zeros, only zeros becomes the kth row of A dash. That row multiplied with this column gives me the kth entry here. What is the kth entry here? That is 1. So we'll get 0 into alpha 1 plus 0 into alpha 2, etc. 0 into alpha n is equal to 1. Whatever the values of alpha is, when they are all getting multiplied with integer 0, you get LHS 0. That gives you 0 equal to 1, which is ridiculous, right? In number system, we never have integer 0 being same as integer 1. They are two different entities. Therefore, this is not valid, the supposition that you have made here. Suppose B dash has a pivot. The kth equation looks very weird. You're saying A dash x equal to B dash is having a solution. If it has a solution, that column should satisfy every equation. But your kth equation gives you what? It gives you 0 equal to 1, which is meaningless. Therefore, your supposition fails. That is, B dash can never have a pivot. Whenever B dash has a pivot, your kth equation will always give you 0 equal to 1, which is not at all valid. Therefore, if the system A dash x equal to B dash has a solution, B dash cannot have a pivot. Therefore, B dash has no pivot. Now we'll go to the converse. What is the converse? Assume that B dash has no pivot. If B dash has no pivot, somehow I should be able to get a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. Okay. We will have to get a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. And we will use the explanation precisely that is mentioned in the proposition itself. You see here, if B dash has no pivot, then by assigning arbitrary values to the unknowns xj corresponding to the non-pivotal columns of A dash, we get a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. We'll try understanding what does that mean. So assume that B dash has no pivot. What does that mean? When I look at that augmented matrix M dash, which is already in the row echelon form, this B dash can have any non-zero entries or zeros, anything. We don't know what exactly they are. This is B dash, but it doesn't have a pivot. What do we mean by pivot? You cannot have all zeros here inside A dash and having a 1 in the last column. That is not the case now, because in converse, we are assuming B dash has no pivot. So if at all a row has a pivot, if at all a row of M dash has a pivot, those pivots are all present in the block A dash itself. One case would be, maybe I will have the first row having its pivot in the second position, then the second row having a pivot somewhere here. These need not be zeros, they could be anything, but the entry above the pivot must be 0. Okay, here also we can have anything. And then say the third row, but entries before the pivot are all zeros, remember. Say here there is a pivot here, and then unknowns and so on. And say all other rows are zeros. Okay, that is just one possibility. You can have the case where all the columns also having a pivot. Okay, that's also possible. But the case is in the converse that there is no pivot which is present inside B dash. If there is any pivot which is in, if at all there is a pivot present in the matrix M dash, they are all inside the first block, that is A dash itself. One example would be, like I take a matrix where there is 0, 1, say 0 here and 5, and then -1, 2 I'll write here, 0, 0, 1 here, and the last one, this should also be 0, because if it is 2, I can always make it 1. So this could be one example where you see that there are two pivots, both are present inside A dash itself, correct? Both are present inside A dash. In the last column B dash, there is no pivot present. There is no pivot present in the last column. So that is the picture we have right now with us. Under this case, we have to get a solution. We will assume that some R number of columns have a pivot. Let J1 less than J2, etc. less than JR. This could also be equal to N. Be the column, be the indices of those columns which contain a pivot. You know what is a column index? What is a column index? For the first column index is 1. You are referring to which column it is. That is called as column index. If I'm referring to the jth column, the column index is j there. Okay, j1th column, its column index is j1. We are discussing the more general possibility. Therefore, every column may not be having a pivot, right? If there is a matrix of order, say 3 by 4, all three columns can have a pivot, and the pivots are row wise. So I cannot have 4 pivots if the number of rows is 3. If there are only 3 rows, I can have only 3 pivots in it. So then the first 3 columns, all of them will have a pivot. That is one possibility. Or it may happen that two of the columns have a pivot, but one of them doesn't have a pivot. So there are many such possibilities. We will assume that there are some R number of columns. I have written in the increasing order of their indices. Say J1 is one number, which represents the column which is having a pivot. J2 is representing another column which has a pivot, and so on. Suppose I have a matrix of this form here, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, or 4, I'll make it 4, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then all zeros. Here, which are the columns that have a pivot here? Somebody? In the matrix which I have drawn, which columns have pivot?
Second and fourth column.
Second and fourth columns. That says, when I consider the column indices 2 and 4, they correspond to the pivotal columns, those which have the pivot. Pivot is this entry, the first non-zero entry, which is always 1. Second column has a pivot. Fourth column has a pivot. First, third, and the fifth columns don't have a pivot. So with this notation which I have written here, J1, J2, etc., for this example, J1 would be 2 and J2 would be 4. Okay, here J1, J2, etc., JR denote the indices of those columns which contain a pivot in them. And I have arranged those JIs in the increasing order. Okay, J1 is taken to be 2, the second column index. J2 is 4. I'm not going to take J1 to be the 4, J1 to be 4 and J2 to be 2. No, in the increasing order only I've written. That's why it is less than, strictly less than. I hope the notation is clear. And it can happen all say four columns have a pivot, then I'll have J1, J2, J3, J4 in the increasing order. J1 would be 1, J2 is 2, J3 is 4, and J3 is 3, and J4 is 4. That's how it would be. To get the more general case, assume that there are R columns having a pivot. So then we know that B dash is not having no pivot there. Remember, B dash has no pivot. A dash has how many columns? N columns. A dash has n columns. So this number of pivots, R could be n also. All columns of A dash may also have a pivot. If not, there would be n minus R columns having no pivot. Just like in the example which I had written, first, third, and fifth column did not have a pivot. So there are 3 columns having no pivot. So keep that in mind. And corresponding to every column, there is an unknown, xj. X1, X2, Xn. Number of unknowns is same as the number of columns in A dash, right? Number of unknowns, X1, X2, Xn is same as the number of columns in A dash, because we are solving A dash x equal to B dash. Number of entries in X is same as number of columns in A dash. Keep in mind. Now we will write down how the equation A dash exists. Then the system A dash x equal to B dash looks like, or it is in the form, anything you can write. Let me do something here. What I'll do is, let capital J denote the set containing these numbers. The numbers J1, J2 up to JR. Okay. The column indices which have a pivot, I have taken them inside the set J. You'll see why the notations. Now I have to write down the system A dash x equal to B dash. Which is that first column that has a pivot here? J1th column has a pivot. What do you mean by J1th column has a pivot? J1th column has a pivot. So in that J1th column, when I draw that matrix, here if this is J1th position, say this is J2th position, 1 is present here. Okay. Rest there could be any other non-zero entries present. There is 1 in the J1th position. J2 has a pivot, but in some other row. Same row cannot have 2 pivots, remember that. Here there would be 1, this entry would be 0, and there could be anything else here. when you multiply with the column of unknowns x1, x2, etc., xn, you see here the first 0 gets multiplied with x1, second 0 gets multiplied with x2, and so on. This 1 which is in the j1th position gets multiplied with xj1, right? It gets multiplied with the unknown which is having the same subscript. If it is the third column here, if this 1 is present in the third column, that 1 gets multiplied with x3 itself, x3. If you're clear with the idea of matrix multiplication, this should not be difficult for you. Okay? The idea should not be clear, should not be difficult to you. So let me write down the equations with all that understanding. I would write the equation 1 into xj1 plus, what we know is 1 is present in the j1th column, but in that particular row which is having a pivot, what are the other non-zero entries? We don't know. What we'll do is we'll group all the other entries together and we'll use this summation notation. Okay, A1j j dash, because it is from A dash, I'll denote the entries by AI j dash. AI here. Just a second, some correction needed. Why this pen is not working? Okay. I should use a suitable notation. A1j dash here, xj. See, the entry corresponding to the j1th position is already separated, and the entries previous to the j1th position are all zeros because 1 is the first non-zero entry. So exactly how many non-zero entries are there in that particular row, we don't know. But the numbers which correspond to the pivotal columns, they are all taken in capital J. So what I'll write here is, in this summation, the index J does not belong to J. I hope this should be fine. I'm writing that equation, okay? The first equation now, I'm writing the first equation. The first row will have a pivot in the j1th position. The first row, that's the first pivot which you get, which is in the j1th position. And that pivot gets multiplied with xj1, okay? Remember, I'm writing the system now. The first equation, 1 into xj1 plus other entries get multiplied with the remaining xj's, and which xj's will get multiplied with how many non-zero entries, we don't know exactly. But we know that whichever j is not in that capital J, this set, they all will be present in this summation. And that is equal to what? That is the first entry here, that is B1 dash. Okay, that is B1 dash. What should be the second equation? Second equation is here. I would get exactly R equations, remember, because there are exactly R pivots. If there is no pivot in a row, then that row has to be 0. So I would get exactly R equations. The next one would be, this pivot is in the j1th position. So in the next rows, there won't be pivot in the same position. The pivots of the next rows are present in the present to the right side, remember. The pivot of the second row will be to the right of the pivot in the previous row. So here all zeros we'll get. But I would get 1 into xj2 plus summation a2j dash xj. Again, j does not belong to capital J, equal to b2 dash, etc. 1 into xjr plus group all the other numbers in the equation together, write it as one single summation, summation arj dash xj. Again, here you will have those numbers j which do not belong to the set J, that gives you br dash. So these are precisely the R equations. If you want to be very clear, I can write it this way also. 1 into xj1 plus 0 into xj2, etc. plus 0 into xjr plus the remaining entries. I'm writing the same set of equations which I had written in the previous slide. J is not in J equal to B1 dash. This is the first equation. Here I had written only 1 into xj1. How do I know that corresponding to xj2, xj3, etc., xjr, I will have zeros? Because the j2th column will have a pivot in the next row. Therefore, the entry above that pivot should be 0. So this has to be 0. So all these will get multiplied with 0. And what is our next equation? 1 into xj2 plus here also 0, 0 into xj1 plus 0 into xj3, etc. plus 0 into xjr plus the next summation. Summation j not in j, a2j dash xj equal to b2 dash, and the last equation would be 0 into xj1 plus 0 into xj2, etc. plus 1 into xjr plus summation arj dash xj, j is not in the set j, equal to br dash. Now how do you solve these equations? 1 into xj1 in the first equation, that gives you xj1, right? It gives you xj1. Second equation will give you xj2, etc. There are unknowns here within this summation, each of the summation present in the R equations, they will have unknowns xj. Okay, how many unknowns will be there? N minus R number of unknowns will be there. If all the columns of the matrix A dash have a pivot, these summations will not be present at all. Okay, these summations will not be there if all the columns have a pivot. If at all there are columns without a pivot, those will be present here. Now, you give the values to the xj's which are present inside these summations. Okay, you give your own values, arbitrary values to the variables xj for which j is not in the capital set J. Give the arbitrary values to these xj's. Then, when I give arbitrary values to these xj's, number of your choice, I would get from the first equation xj1. What is xj1? Let me write down. This gives us xj1 from the first equation. What is xj1? b1 dash, that number is given to us, b1 dash minus, I'll take the summation to the right side, summation a1j dash xj, j is not in j. This gives us xj1, but you have to give arbitrary value to these xj's. What is xj2 from the second equation? It is b2 dash minus summation a2j dash xj, where j is not in j, and xjr, finally you get xjr from the last equation, 1 into xjr. So xjr is equal to br dash minus summation ar dash xj, where j is not in j. I think the last equation is not visible clearly, but it is, I'll repeat that, it is xjr, j subscript r is equal to, from the last equation, br dash minus summation arj dash xj, j does not belong to j. Here what I have to do, give arbitrary values all the xj's present in the summation, then you will solve for xj1, xj2, etc., xjr. That is precisely the explanation which is mentioned in the statement. See here, if b dash has no pivot, then by giving or assigning arbitrary values to the unknowns xj corresponding to the non-pivotal columns. What do you mean by non-pivotal columns? The columns which do not contain a pivot. Okay? We get a solution of a dash x equal to b dash. We got a solution here because you gave the values to those xj's. corresponding to the columns which don't have a pivot. And with that arbitrary value, you could solve for the unknowns present in the pivotal columns, xj1, xj2, etc., xjr. So we will substitute all these xj values. Some values we gave and some values we got from these equations. When you substitute that, that will give you a solution of, I'll write here, assigning arbitrary values to the variables xj corresponding to j not in j. What do you mean by j is not in the set j? In capital J, what are the numbers that we have taken? We have taken the indices of those columns which contain a pivot. So when I say j, the lowercase j is not in this capital J, that says I'm looking at those unknowns whose indices, when I look at that j, those columns will not have a pivot. Corresponding to j not in j, we get all solutions of a dash x equal to b dash. If all columns have a pivot, you will get exactly one solution. You will get exactly one solution. If there are columns having no pivots, you can give arbitrary values. And when you are free to give arbitrary values, it's understood that you will be getting infinitely many solutions. But in any case, in the converse, we were able to justify that whenever b dash, the last column, has no pivot, it's possible to get a solution because we computed the solution now. Okay, we computed the solution this way. That says whenever b dash has no pivot, the system a dash x equal to b dash will always have a solution. And if the solution a dash, and if the system a dash x equal to b dash has a solution, b dash can never have a pivot in it. Okay, b dash can never have a pivot. Maybe we will look at one example in the next class. Then you'll get this idea. So whatever idea we have used in the converse of this result, that is precisely used in solving any system. Okay, after reducing the matrix to the row echelon form, after you reduce m to m dash, you check first whether b dash, the last column, has a pivot. If you see there is a pivot in b dash, immediate conclusion is the given system has no solution. If you see that there is no pivot in b dash, we will use this method which we described right now in the converse in order to get the solution. Okay, with that I'll stop for today.